everyone, Blugoblin here. Thank you for joining me for my comic book review for this week in February 2012. I know I'm a bit behind on this, and I apologize. I was going to do it earlier. I was going to do this maybe like a couple of days ago, but I got incredibly sick. I had to miss a day from college because of how sick I got. So I apologize for the slight lateness of this, so just bear with me. I got 10 books to review, so but before I get to that, I want to point out, I want to give a shout out to my student, TheMtVernonKid. Just watched your comic book review, and I thought you did an incredible job, as always. Definitely got to agree with you in a lot of those books, two in particular. But let's go ahead and get started here with a book that I really agree with you about. We're going to start off with IDW's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles number 7. Oof. Oh, wow. God. This right here, this issue right here is a reminder. It's reminding me to thank myself and to thank everyone who recommended this book to me to jump on board with this. Wow, this was really good. The Turtles are having their first fight with the Mousers in this run. It's very well done. Very well done. We get another glimpse into a growing and budding relationship between April and Casey. That's good to see. But I got to agree with my student, Chris. Wow. Yeah, you're right. Wow. We get our first look at an old school villain from the past, and oh man. Yeah, I too. I know a lot of people have been begging me to give more spoilers here and there without completely giving away the entire book. Oh man, I gotta say, the player who steps in here, he gave you his hint. I'm gonna give you mine. It's this guy right here. Don't let this look fool you. It's an old friend of us hardcore old school fans of the Turtles. Wow, I'm on board. Oh man, this is getting really good, and it was not to mention the nice cliffhanger with the Mousers at the end of the book. This was really good. IDW and Kevin Eastman, I salute you. This was really good, really good. All right, we're going to Marvel. All right, Fantastic Four 603. This is a continuation of the fight in space. You got Galactus stepping in. Jonathan Hickman really knows how to do his homework here. The kids assembled this, god-killing weapon or of some sort, and they use it to a certain degree. And this Hickman slipped really hard with FF, but he still knows how to write a good Fantastic Four book. Not too much scientific mumbo jumbo from Reed in here, but shit, I gotta look in here because the name already escapes me. It's the Mad Celestials. Yeah, that's what I thought it was. The Mad Celestials, the beings supposedly responsible for the demise of the alternate Reeds and everything, their universes and everything like that. They're stepping up here. Galactus tries to take them on, and it doesn't fare well for our old friend Galactus. But this yeah, this is another solid issue of Fantastic Four here. Yeah, that's all I need to say. I mean, Hickman Hickman knows his shit here. He may not know it all with FF, but with Fantastic Four, yeah. Now the biggest question is Johnny going to go back on the team, or is he going to fly solo and let Spider-Man keep his spot? But if you can barely see, you can still see some flamage in here on the cover. So I'm thinking, okay, so Johnny might still be recognized as a member, but I don't really recall him taking his spot back from Peter. Yeah, well, this was a good solid issue nonetheless. Not perfect, but hey, it's Hickman and he's good with it. All right. Venom number 13.3. This is part 4 of the Circle of 4. This story has been up and down with me. Right now, this part's looking pretty good. We get to see the temptations of hell. You know, Mephisto points out. I believe it was Mephisto. I don't remember if it was Mephisto or Blackheart. One of those two pointed out that not every torture in hell is primarily a bad torture. There's also tortures that represent temptations. What's your innermost dream? But just remember, it's just that. It's a dream. It's not going to happen to you. That's one of the tortures in hell. I liked that concept. Not every torture in hell has to be bad. You know, bad torture. It's like sometimes a torture can be showing you something you want so bad, you can just reach out and just grab it. Come on, just reach out, go get it, and then you just missed it. That's basically what this was. Hulk, Red Hulk. Apparently he's Thunderbolt Ross again. He's praised by Captain America and all of the nation. Flash Thompson dreams about becoming the next Spider-Man, where Spider-Man takes his mask off and hands it to him and says, "Hey, you want to be Spider-Man?" Do I? X-23 realizing she's got a soul, and she gets that from She gets this news from Wolverine of all people. Ghost Rider gets her mother back. Blah 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 blah. Nope, you're not getting that after all. Fuck y'all. That's basically what Mephisto does in here. And yes, unfortunately, according to Mephisto, these 4 are in fact dead. But he says, "I'll let you go back. The one condition." I'm like, you son of a bitch. Mephisto's always known for them deals, and sure, Mephisto hasn't had a sour deal. Has he? Oh. Yeah. He had that. Whatever. But this was alright. I enjoyed this. It's a reminder for the people who believe that hell is nothing but constant torture about, all the bad things you've done and all that shit. There's also the temptations, the stuff that you could have but you're not going to get. I liked that. It was a nice twist to the story. Wolverine and the X-Men, number 6. I gotta agree with Chris. I mean, this was fun. I like this. Jason Aaron, wow. He knows how to write a good X-Men story. This is how an X-Men book should feel after. This is how an X-Men book should make me feel after reading it. Should make me feel happy. I was happy that I read this. This was great. Kitty, despite her condition, despite what she's been going through, she could still put up a decent fight. How she's able to, defend herself in a room full of there's a section in this book where she defends herself in a room full of ice, barefoot and nothing but a t-shirt and a pair of underwear, and nothing but a t-shirt and panties, or a pair of shorts or whatever. okay, any other person would have been going, I can barely move, I'm so cold. You know, okay, I'm just joking with the book now, but some really nice stuff in here. Got Wolverine and Kid Omega, not Kid Omega, Quentin Quire, doing some intergalactic gambling or cheating, kind of like Intergalactic Rain Man or something. I don't know. It's just this was fun. I mean, it's not anything to, you know, put in chronological historical documents or anything like that. It was just a fun X-Men book that I really enjoyed reading. All right. Another X-Men series that's really been picking up here. X-Men Legacy 262. Does anybody remember how I constantly bitched and moaned about Mike Carey's bullshit? This is miles ahead of anything Mike Carey ever did for the series. And it's, God, it's a million times better than anything Failure Fraction ever did for X-Men in general. But yeah, this right here was basically the Gold Team versus Exodus Round 2 fight. You know, and it's Christos Gage. Wow, he's got me sold on this series. This was good. Nothing but pure solid action. And yes, the cover is justifiable. Rogue is awesome in here. You know, she knows that she's not perfect, but she's ready to stand up, you know, and speak her mind. You know, she's now on an X-Men team where if she's got something to say, god damn it, she's gonna fucking say it. And I love that. I love how Rogue is used in X-Men Legacy now. Of course, Rogue, does something, gets under Logan's skin, and now Logan's like, I don't know if I should trust you or not now, because you went running off and told Magneto about our old friend Exodus here, and, you know, spoil that. But, you know, Rogue says, I believe Rogue was saying she's doing it for the children, you know, and Logan's like, Scott don't give a damn about them children's future. He just sees them as soldiers and nothing else, you know. And that's what started all this schism shit. And yeah, and we get some unexpected help at the end of the book. I'm not going to spoil who shows up, but I will say things could get interesting in the next issue. This is X-Men Legacy is no longer a shit-canned book. I mean, this has really stepped it up. Very nice. Now on to DC. Starting with Green Lantern New Guardians number 6. Complete with magical talking boobies. Fatalities, magically talking breasts. Yeah. Ain't it great how I can just be an ass and just joke about shit like that? All joking aside, Wrath of the Living God, wow, what an understatement. That should not be the subtitle on this issue. The subtitle should say, Green Lantern New Guardians get their asses whipped. This was nothing more, to me, nothing more than a colossal ass whooping of this team of Lanterns. To me, the person who had the biggest standoffs with this guy, Invictus, is probably Arkillo and Saint Walker. Saint Walker, you know, despite what his powers represent and what he believes in, he does try to put up one hell of a fight against this guy. And for the most part, you know, even though this was pretty much a one-sided fight with the supposed villain of this book, Invictus, who's a pretty interesting character, I must admit. But this was enjoyable. I had fun reading it. It was pretty good. You know, it's not the best Green Lantern stuff I've ever read, but I'd say if you're not on board with this series yet, it's not too late. Go ahead and jump on board. It's still been pretty good. Tony Bedard is still doing an amazing job. I thought it was really good. Alright. The Fury of Firestorm, The Nuclear Men, number 6. There's always consequences. This is the fallout of what tragically happened at the end of issue 5. Wow. Still thinking about what happened at the end of issue 5 with that rogue Firestorm suicide bombing. It killed it incinerated all those innocent people like that. Wow. That was quite a sight. That was probably the best yet most tragic moment of the series. But this is the fallout of it, and of course the two Firestorms here. Of course they're gonna bitch and moan and fight and fuss and everything. That's expected. But Gail Simone, this is one of her best attributes as a writer, in my opinion. She really knows how to write an emotional display. She really knows how to write a character's emotions. She really does. I honestly believe that. I knew that the instant I started reading Secret 6. I knew that when I was reading her run for Birds of Prey. The thing, that's one of Gail Simone's best qualities as a writer. And it's well shown in this book as well. Are the two Firestorms gonna split for good? Maybe not. Then again, who knows? But there was another decent fight scene in here with another Firestorm sort of person, and he has the ability to turn. He turned Raymond's. He turned old Raymond's here. I'm calling him by his last name. It's Ronnie Raymond. Shit. He turned his powers off, and I'm like, woo, that's a nice touch. But this was a really solid issue. Was it as good as issue 5? Maybe not, but yeah, it's like. And what's even worse for our two heroes is that what happened at the end of issue 5 with all those people burning up. Guess what? Everybody already knows about it. Ooh, ouch. Okay, that was good. Once again, Gail, I salute you. Great writing. Moving on. Flash, number 6. Revenge best served cold. This is the introduction of Captain Cold in the New 52 universe, and I love it. It's kind of like an evil version of Iceman, and Chris, pointed this out in his review, and I'm glad he did. I like this. I like this twist on Captain Cold, because Captain Cold is one of my favorite villains from DC. Period. He is my favorite. He's my favorite Flash villain. And to see him debut in this style, in this fashion, I loved it. This was great. We get some great dialogue from him, and the reason why he's confronting the Flash, he's not doing it just to be petty. He's not doing it to say, "Huh, you're the Flash, I must beat you." He's not. It's not old school villainy. He's like, "You stopped me from robbing a bank," blah blah blah. He's doing it out of revenge because in the last issue, the Flash did something that shut off the power to Captain Cold's sister's life support, and his sister is unfortunately dying. And of course, Leonard here is going to blame the Flash for that, and you can really see his emotion displayed in here. I mean, Francis Manipoul's writing and his artwork clearly show it, and he does a really fine job. And even Barry's like, "Huh, what happened to your guns?" He's like, "I don't use guns anymore." And I was like, woohoo! Step up in the badass department. Just awesome. And we get more tweaks and knowledge about how Barry has to control his speed powers without doing any massive damage. And we get another peek and a wink and a nod at the cosmic treadmill and all that stuff. This was just really good. This is miles ahead of anything Jeff Johns ever did for the Flash. But yeah, this is woohoo. That could have been a pick of the week worthy book, but something beat it out, and I'll get to that later. But before we get to that, let's move on to Superman number 6. When he turns bad, run. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and spoil it. That's not Superman. That's an imposter Superman. This, my patience is wearing really thin with this series. Really thin. George Perez, Mr. Perez, love you, man. You're one of my favorite artists of all time. But this particular issue of Superman just felt like one massive punchline. The beginning of the book with the imposter Superman fighting Supergirl, it felt like Superman meets Rocky Balboa. It's like there's a fist fight between the imposter and Supergirl with full-blown commentary from extras in the book. Like, oh my god, there's a left hand. Oh, Supergirl fights back with the right hand. Oh my god, they're using heat vision, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, Jesus Christ, why don't you just have JR and the King call this fight? It's like, oh my god, business is picking up. You know, I'm not gonna make fun of Jim Ross. I have too much respect for him. But yeah, this just felt like a massive punchline. We get winks and nods to almost everything Superman related from the past. Like, the biggest for me was the whole Great Caesar's ghost line. Really? Did he just say that? And the whole, somebody giving a reference, when Superman was asked what he did, what happened to the imposter, he said, I just flung him into the sun. I know. Why am I still buying this? Despite the punchline, it was an entertaining read. I'm not going to say it was good, but then again, I can't say it was terrible. I mean, it was alright, but it just felt like such a punchline, and my patience for this series is really wearing thin. I'm going to make a promise to myself. I'm going to stick with this until issue 10, okay? And if issue 10 doesn't impress me enough, then I'll drop the series. But yeah, this was okay, but didn't have to be so forcefully humorous. You know what I'm saying? All right, let's end this with the pick of the week. Pick of the week goes to Aquaman number 6. Mera Unleashed, you ain't bullshitting, DC. Wow, I try my best not to overhype Jeff Johns' writing, because I'm one of those, it's like anybody who personally knows me, y'all know me. I don't praise absolutely everything Jeff Johns writes. Not everything Johns touches turns to gold. You know, his run with the Flash was it was okay, but compared to Manapul's run, his run on the Flash is shit. Now here is where Jeff Johns is awesome. Him and Ivan Reyes. Mera got the whole spotlight on this issue. This issue is about her. We see some minor backstory telling with her of how she was before she got with Arthur. We see a very, very entertaining scene in the supermarket with her and some dirty old pervert who thinks it's okay to start putting his hands on random women in random places. And man, does he pay for... Woo! What she does to this bastard is just awesome. Very, very nice. But it's what she does with a hostage situation later on in the book. And we find out just how well she can control water. Oh my god. What the scene with the hostage situation was magnificent. The artwork truly shines here. My fanship for Mera has gone up. Loved this book. Aquaman is in the very last page at the end of the book, and this had nothing to do with him. This was all about Mera. This was an attempt by DC to get Mera more popular, to get Mera some more fans, and guess what? As far as I'm concerned, they succeeded. This was fantastic. This right here is my pick of the week. Aquaman number 6. Awesome. Alright, I've said enough, everybody. Thanks for watching, everybody. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done it already. Be sure to follow me on Twitter or Tumblr, or both. Thanks for watching again, everybody. And until next time, I'll see you later.